Hey y'all, welcome back. Today we're checking out top 10 British stereotypes that aren't bloody true.
Ah yes, let's meet up for some cheese and scones with Prince Will himself in our average, yet giant, country house built of brick, mortar and tea bags. Said no Brit ever. Welcome to Watch Mojo UK, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 British stereotypes that simply aren't true, for the vast majority of us anyway.
True?
It's not yet a clear-cut case of the stiff upper lip.
What is this stiff upper lip thing? What does that really mean? You know? Someone who has a stiff upper lip does not show their feelings when they are upset. Okay, that's kind of what I thought. But it's good to get clarity. Yeah. Stifle those feelings down inside so they manifest as colon cancer.
We're all subject to being stereotyped at some point, especially us Brits, and we wanted to dispel some of the most commonly perceived idioms aimed at the British public. So, whether you're German, French, Italian, American or Canadian, yes, we're looking at you, Watch Mojo HQ. Listen up. Number 10. How's the weather?
Bloody weather.
Truth is, people talk about the weather as it's the perfect common ground. It's the same for everyone and there's very little chance of getting into an argument about it.
How's the weather in England?
It's great.
To say that's all we talk about though is just plain wrong. Used more as a foot in the door of a conversation rather than out and out subject matter, the weather is mentioned in passing and that's all really. A bit like saying, how are you? We don't gather in remote sheds to whisper about the fact that it rained the week before. Number 9.
We don't gather in remote sheds to whisper about the fact that it rained the week before. Hey, yo, come out to the shed. Come out to the garden shed and I need to chat with you. Hey, did you see it rain the other week? I saw it rain the other week. What are we going to do about it? Well, I'm going to go inside and have a cup of tea. It's what I'm going to do about it. Me too. And my name is Jason Statham.
Number 9. Always apologetic.
Sorry,
into
no.
a British person on the street, chances are they will say sorry, even if it wasn't their fault. Some people mistake this for being overly polite though. We say it's just manners. We do love to keep the peace where possible, but we can have a moan when it comes down to it, especially if we don't get what we want, or someone is taking advantage of us.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Don't hurt me. Sorry.
In fact, sometimes people will say sorry but mean something completely different.
Sorry, don't
For
hurt
example,
me.
pushing past someone and saying sorry may actually mean move. You're in my way.
Excuse me. Sorry. Do you speak English?
No, I don't, sorry.
Number 8.
Yeah, I've heard British people do that a lot, but I hear Americans do it too. I think it's actually a really effective way to make a request because you're saying sorry for disturbing your whatever you're doing. I have a request. Sorry. And you hear that all in the one word. Sorry to bother you. May I make a request? Sorry.
Number 8. We love to queue.
Yes,
look what's happened here.
Love is a strong word. Saying you love something is proudly proclaiming that you go out of your way to associate yourself with it. That's just not true when it comes to us Brits and queuing. Similar to saying sorry in the manners we just mentioned, we do it because it keeps order. A lot of people in a lot of different countries queue. We just don't moan about it as much. Unless someone pushes in, that is. You've got to do it. It's the rules. Just get on with it.
That quote at the very end of it is really the only way that I am at peace with waiting in line. You've got to do it. It's the rules. Just get on with it. Yeah. You know what bothers me about waiting in line is when there's several lines going at once and you have to pick one. I always pick the wrong one. The lines next to me go faster. I like it better when there's one long line and then at the end of the line, at the front of the line, you go to whatever cash register is open. I like that. It feels more fair. You know, looks like that's what they got going on in the Full Monty. Way to go. Carpe diem, waiting in line.
Number 7. Tea is life.
I've heard of this tea.
Do we like to drink tea? Sure. Do we also like to eat, sleep and be merry? Yes. British people do drink tea, but it's not a religious act. We don't congregate in groups to go on a Friday night mad one at the tea room. And in fact, if we were to ask a group of Brits what hot beverage they prefer, half of them, if not more, would probably say coffee anyway. We Brits do drink tea, but probably just as much as anyone else in the world.
I don't know.
Have a cup of tea and wait for all this to blow over.
I'm pretty sure British people drink tea. He's saying at least half of the British people would prefer coffee. I mean, yeah, that's where I am. I drink tea and coffee. I don't know. This is a great shot to stop on. Look how happy they all are. Simon just said something funny. They're all laughing at what he just said. I'm trying to think of what to say about Brits and tea, and I feel like it's all been said. I don't know what else there is to say. It's a stereotype that's overblown a bit. Yeah, there's some truth in it. Cheers. Sorry.
Number 6. Everyone's a football fan.
Is that a stereotype?
Cricket, rugby, tennis, net...
Was that from Peep Show? That Mitchell and Webb look. Okay.
Cricket, rugby, tennis, netball, badminton, hockey, the list goes on. The point is, there are many uber popular sports in Britain, which means we're not all necessarily football fans. In fact, many fans of other sports actively dislike football, particularly rugby fans. It's true, the likes of the Premier League is sometimes described as the most eclectic, fastest and downright exciting league in football. But that doesn't make every British person football mad, or a drunk, violent football hooligan.
It's football day.
Football day! So the stereotype is that every British person loves football. I haven't heard that. I don't know what else to say about this one either. I don't know. The tea thing I totally heard, and I still believe it's still true, but this football one I've not heard, and I don't believe it's true. I'm confused.
It's football day.
Football
Number 5,
day.
we sound like Cockneys or Aristocrats.
I'm guilty of thinking this one.
Oi oi! How do you do? Hollywood likes to aim for either broad Cockney or posh wartime pronunciation when it comes to British accents, as it makes it more digestible for overseas viewers. But in reality, Britain has some of the most diverse accents in the entire world, housing almost 60 different types. And many of these accents come with their own unique dialects too. It's usually British films, especially independent ones, that really showcase these tones, with the likes of Scouse, Geordie, Mancunian and Welsh.
Yeah, I'm guilty of this stereotype. Those are the two only British accents I can almost barely do, is Cockney and... what's the other one? RP. Received pronunciation.
You know, I also love to deliver pudding when I do my Paul McCartney impersonation. Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney. Hello, my name is Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney from Liverpool. Hey, Jude. What you doing over there? Ringo? Ringo, hit the drum differently. No, that's not right.
Number 4, stiff upper lip.
No more stiff upper lip for us.
And what is that exactly?
Keeping a stiff upper lip basically means staying emotionally reserved in the face of adversity. Think, keep calm and carry on, and you'll see what we mean. This is commonly attributed to British people due to wartime attitudes and politics. But that doesn't mean we're not passionate and outspoken about what we believe in. To be honest, in today's society, it's difficult to find a Briton who isn't prepared to make their feelings known and carries a personal opinion on current affairs. There's always a protest going on somewhere, just watch the news.
Yeah, it's interesting that it comes from the wartime thing. I've mentioned this a bunch, but Peter Jackson did a documentary about British soldiers in World War I, and they had it then too.
Number 3, we either live in London or the countryside. It's easy to see why people believe this. You see a postcard for Britain and it's either of a cottage or of Big Ben.
Hey,
That's
look, kids.
true.
There's Big Ben and there's Parliament.
But we don't all live in a thriving metropolis or idyllic country setting. Nope, many of us live in crowded, underdeveloped cities and in small, less than ideal houses or flats in the middle of nowhere. In a way, this stereotype represents the two polar opposites of British life, and something many of us may actually aspire to. So, more of a dream than a reality, really.
That's true, most of the imagery is either in London or in the countryside. Look, kids, Big Ben. Many of us live in crowded, underdeveloped cities and in small, less than ideal houses, or flats in the middle of nowhere. That would be the countryside. Crowded, underdeveloped cities. Does it mean like the infrastructure of the city isn't there? That's still a city. A flat in the middle of nowhere, I would say, is the countryside. An underdeveloped, overcrowded city is a city. Countryside, city. I know there's an in-between. I see what he's saying. I see what he's trying to say. But the way he's saying it is just that he's like proving his own words wrong. Right? Am I looking too deep into this? Look, kids, Big Ben and Parliament.
Number 2, terrible teeth.
Nothing.
Another idea
smile.
fueled by Hollywood is that all Britons have crooked, discoloured teeth.
Not all.
Yes, we've all seen Austin Powers.
Just
Britons having bad
around
teeth
more.
is a go-to for many jokers around the world. But why is that? Well, some think it's down to our lack of healthy sunshine, our inexpressive facial mannerisms, and even our mass consumption of tea. But the fact is, figures suggest that Britain is actually one of the best countries for dental hygiene, much better than places like the US. So chew on that.
British teeth. This was what comes up when I Google search British teeth. Yes. Austin Powers. Michael Caine playing Austin Powers' father, I think. Michael Cutting. Yes. Yes. Oh, look at these. British Dental Association. Oh my god. Oh my. Okay. We're on to another. Oh, gross, dude. Oh. Oh, that looks like a horse. Is that human? Oh my god. I mean, just Google searching British teeth and having all these show up is only proving that it's a stereotype. It's not actually proving that they have worse teeth. But it's funny. It's funny.
Number 1, we all love the royals. Let's get one thing straight. A lot of people in Britain do not like the royals. And while we're at it, we don't all know them on a personal basis either.
God save the Queen.
Don't.
They're rich, they can be lazy, they've dressed up in Nazi uniforms. The anti-royal argument can be quite strong. Although royal weddings and birthdays get plastered all over newspapers all over the world, there are many people who dislike this regime and happily protest against the monarchy. So, next time there's a royal occasion, don't assume we're all sporting a t-shirt with their faces on it.
Come on, Michael Gove, look at that horse shit. Go on, clean for the Queen. Get your f***ing bibs on. Go on, do it. Do it now or it's treason.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips.
I have heard that there's a big movement against the royals. I don't want to get into that. I think Daniel Radcliffe doesn't like the royals. Or the monarchy, I should say. I don't know about them personally, but he's against the idea. I am definitely a Republican in the British sense of the word. Oh, I just don't see the use of the monarchy, though I'm fierce patriot. I'm proud of being English, but I think the monarchy symbolizes a lot of what was wrong with the country. It's not the people, it's the system. These huge stars disapprove. Juicy. Russell Brand, Colin Firth, Danny Boyle, Eddie Izzard, Morrissey, Noel Gallagher, Daniel Radcliffe, Stacey Solomon. I would imagine it's kind of a sensitive subject though, right? I'm kind of indifferent towards them. I think my only exposure has been positive stuff, but that's probably kind of propaganda, Hard to tell. I recently watched a video about the powers that the king or queen actually has, and they actually are choosing to not wield their power in a lot of ways. It's kind of scary. They could sort of legally take it back to the olden days if they felt like they wanted to or needed to or had to, or if they lost a bet. This was interesting. I watched so many videos that say these are the stereotypes, these are what British people do this, American people do this, blah blah blah. But this one actually tried to give some nuance to the stereotypes. I appreciate that. Some truths, kind of see the truth in it, but also see that they're also stereotypes and they're not they're sweeping generalizations that aren't accurate, really. The world is complicated. We live in a complicated world. I keep looking at this zombie thing. If I was more of a comedian, I would have pointed at the Queen when I said zombie thing. I didn't think about it fast enough. Well, thanks for watching this with me, and I'll see you next time. And I'd like to thank my patrons. And yeah, that's all. See you next time. Later.